welcome to ET Now. You're watching the special interview Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. This show is all about celebrating stories of success as well as the grit and the determination that went behind it. Today I'm in conversation with Pravin Daryani of IILD.
Today's entrepreneurs are leading the narration of the Indian growth story, and helping them achieve greater heights is Mumbai-based Indian Institute of Learning and Development. The brainchild of young serial entrepreneur Pravin P Daryani, this company has consulted and worked with over 16,000 MSMEs since 2013.
Praveen, thanks very much for speaking with us here on ET Now. Let's start this conversation by asking you where the germ of the idea really for IILD came about. What was the reason that you decided that this was the business that you wanted to be in?
See, IILD, Indian Institute of Learning and Development, we are basically into coaching and consulting space. We basically do coaching and consulting for small and medium entrepreneurs. We started this journey in 2012. The reason behind venturing into this and helping entrepreneurs to take them to the next level was, today manufacturing, service sector and manufacturing output all together are contributing around 45% to the GDP. There are so many people who are employed by this sector called SME. We are expecting 2022, India will see a next level of growth. Indian businesses will
led by, you think, the small businesses?
Yes, that's where we are into small and medium entrepreneurs. Small and medium entrepreneurs today, when we came into this business, we realized that if India has to go to the next level, we need to help them first to go to the next level in terms of their thought process, in terms of the challenges they are facing, in terms of business they are doing, in terms of products they are dealing in. That's why we ventured into small and medium entrepreneurs.
Okay, so how did the idea for you come about? You're a very young entrepreneur and you've started, like you were saying, as a training company, but you largely now focused on the consulting side in the consulting space. Where did the idea come about? How did you decide that this is a business model and this is workable?
See, we were into training before that also. Before 2012, we were into training. We were into corporate training. We were doing training for a lot of corporates. But we realized that if we have to just train people, second option is we need to add value to the people. We can't add value if what we are speaking, if people are not implementing that. If you go to corporate, you go and speak to employees out there who are working. For them to implement anything, they need to go and ask their bosses, management, and a lot of other people. We were very clear that if we need to add value to the people's life and help them grow, we need to work with decision makers. That's how we came into small and medium entrepreneurs. Our base was training. We were there in training before also.
So what all do you now consult and work with MSMEs on? What are the different areas that you work with them on?
So we do every possible thing today business needs. We are into sales consulting, we are into HR consulting, we are into IT consulting, we make ERP softwares for our clients. We are into legal consulting, we are into financial services, we are into infrastructure services. We help them do supply chain management for their businesses. A lot of things we are doing.
Okay, so I'll come to each of those in detail in just a bit. But the challenges that the MSMEs face, are they very different from what the larger peers face?
Absolutely, absolutely. Today the MSME challenges are absolutely different which corporates face. Corporates have a different challenges, MSME have a different challenges. To name few, the biggest challenge they face is getting right people. The biggest challenge they face is sales. They're very unorganized. Every possible thing is dependent upon the entrepreneur himself, the man of the house, the man of the machine. Every possible thing is dependent upon him.
Okay, when you're saying business, you mean making all the decisions themselves?
Everything from purchase to sales to giving pricing to a customer, from arranging a lorry for a logistics, any possible thing they are doing by themselves.
You're in the process of setting up an institute. Do you want to tell our viewers more about that?
See, Indian Institute of Learning and Development is going to convert into a full-fledged institute now. We are looking at setting our institute in Lonavala, Pune highway, and it will be an institute for second generation entrepreneur. The entire thought process behind that is there are beautiful businesses available in India, but when second generation comes into business, there is a lot of misunderstanding between first generation and second generation entrepreneurs. So we want to assist these second generation entrepreneurs to take their parental business, family run business to the next better level. and we are putting up a full-fledged institute. The entire thought process behind this institute is absolutely practical approach. All possible things you need to do business, you can come into institute and work upon every possible thing, do research, create research papers, learn from the experts, learn from the established competitors. So we're looking at that. And all these products which we are serving today through IILD will be served by A&A Business Consulting Services Private Limited.
Okay, so for an entrepreneur who is interested in applying to this university and the school, how do they go about that? Will this only be for your existing clients?
No, this will be for the across world. We will be coming up with entire launch project for the same. We are working upon the infrastructure now. The course content is ready, what we are going to do. We are tying up with a lot of big people who can come and be a part of our serving or helping our students to take it to the next level. As far as institute is concerned, I believe the moment we'll have institute on place, we will come up with the launch project.
All right. So let's talk the big picture. You were talking about how this institute is going to work closely with second generation entrepreneurs. So let's talk HR. You consult very closely with MSMEs and SMEs on the aspect of HR. A lot of MSMEs who speak with us tell us that the biggest challenge is hiring the talent. But once you've hired the talent, retaining the talent, especially after you've spent money training them. Your advice for the viewers of this show, the people who are watching this show, about perhaps it can't be based on money. You can't offer more money than a large corporate perhaps is offering as an MSME. How do you hire right? How do you retain that talent?
See, I'll tell you. Let's first understand why MSME is not able to hire right people. The first reason MSME is not able to hire right people, see, there are three levels of people you require in the organization. The first is we call it a second level people, leadership team, head of HR, head of sales, head of other departments. Then we have executors, and third level we have strategizers, people who can think about the organization. These three are different people. MSME is not able to attract any of these people. There are various reasons behind this. The first reason can be lack of infrastructure.
What kind of infrastructure? Physical infrastructure in the office?
A right office.
Okay.
The second reason can be a wrong approach. The third reason can be branding. The fourth reason can be, a lot of MSMEs, I'll give you a small example. Somebody who is into engineering, he has kept his name as Ambaji Engineers. Now you can't attract the right talent by the name of Ambaji Engineers. You can be a 50 crore business, 80 crore business, or a 30 crore business. A good guy who has did MBA, they don't want to set his career into Ambaji Interiors.
Sure.
Engineers.
Sure. So is that the most common mistake that you see people making when it comes to hiring?
These are few very, very common mistakes. A name of the business, a brand. See, today, if you don't have any social media presence, you call somebody by saying, hi, would you like to work for me? The other person asks you, do you have a website? Do you have right social media presence? Are you available on Google? That's something missing with MSME. And these things are not costing much. I believe knowledge is something which we have to work upon now, that how can we become a better brand? How can we choose a right name for our product, for our business? How can we work upon the personality branding or a company branding or a product branding? That's quite easy to work upon.
So coming back to my question, one, of course, you've given them advice in terms of how to hire right. How about retaining that talent? Because it's not just about, it's not just about the money, but it's also the roles that a larger company is able to offer, which perhaps are more exciting than what a small company can offer.
I put it in 4 stages. I say always to my clients that recruitment is first, connecting with the people is second, retention is third, fourth is productivity. A lot of people are not retained in your company. Second thing is missing. Connect is not there with the boss. Connect is not there with the entrepreneur. Now that connect will only be developed when you will train your people. At least communicate to your people, what are you expecting from them? How are you expecting from them? When are you expecting from them? There's nothing, a small communication that we have hired somebody at X salary. Can you communicate to him what is his job role? What are you expecting from him? And we're not telling you to go for formats, write a proper JD, proper KRA, just a piece of paper. You have hired somebody by the name of A, and A is a sales manager in your company. What are the 8 things you're expecting from a sales manager? That man has to have a feeling, sense of achievement, that my boss expected A from me, or B from me, or C from me, and I've did ABC. That is missing. The connect with people is missing. And you cannot retain right talent if they don't have a feeling of, we are working here, we are building something here.
Pravin, do hold that thought. We'll take a very quick break, but much more on the other side of the special conversation. Do stay tuned.
started with a small team of 20 members, and in a span of 4 years, the company now employs over 200 members who are dedicated to not only helping entrepreneurs overcome financial and business challenges, but also ensure they see significant revenue growth. Here's a snippet from a conversation with the tight-knit team members of IILD.
The pace in which IILD is growing is really incredible. Last year we clocked the turnover of 10 crores, and this year we are expecting to grow to 4 to 5 times, which makes to around 50 crores. And in the next financial year we plan to reach to 200 crores. And in terms of the company strength, last year we were 100 people. This year we have already touched 200 people, and by the end of this financial year we'll be around 350 people. And going at the pace and 200 crore target, we will be coming up with 3 to 4 more branches and the 700 people who will be contributing to this growth.
We have a clear strategy with us. Since we want to grow to from 7 branches, as of now we have 7 branches. We will have 4 more branches next year. We are coming up in Raipur, we are coming up in Bangalore, we are coming up in Rajkot, we are coming up in Kanpur. So these 5 locations we will be adding up. Our strategy is very clear that we will be helping these SME segments, right, because they're facing a lot of challenges these days. So we help them in overcoming their challenges, and we help them to grow their business and take their business to a next level.
SMEs should come out of this traditional management method. Go and hire those second in command, the leaders who could take the legacy, Go and look for those people who are emotionally and intellectually committed to an organization, and who could go beyond their call of duty and take the business to the next level. So my closing comments would be, go and hire a smart second in command who could execute your vision.
Armed with consultants who have been down the entrepreneurial path themselves, IILD is able to provide practical guidance to MSMEs and entrepreneurs across the country.
You were talking very briefly about branding earlier, so let's circle back to that. Branding is again crucial for businesses no matter the size. 1 or 2 common mistakes that you see small businesses making when it comes to developing a brand identity and communicating that?
See, the first biggest mistake, we keep on talking about this also with our clients. See, you cannot do right branding if your brand or a name or a tagline or a logo or anything revolves around brand is not clear. If anything which is missing is clarity today. So a lot of times you're keeping wrong name. You are into a product which is for kids, you are using a black color. Kids don't connect with a black color, boss. So one, and the biggest reason is clarity. Second is, a lot of time people are doing in branding what they are liking, the colors which they like, the colors which they have connect, colors which is lucky for them. They are not connecting that colors to the product they are dealing in, the company they are into. They're into B2B, they have to use right colors. They're into kids garments, they have to use right colors. They're into some women clothing, they have to use right colors. Second I believe is, everything revolves on what I like rather than what is right.
Okay, this is not a professional approach in that sense.
You can say that.
Sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure. All right, so then let's also then talk about operations management, and as part of that I specifically want to talk about sales. A lot of the MSMEs who speak with us are struggling to grow. They're saying we can't expand. One, of course, is funding, but I'll come to funding in a bit. But the second is just having that process in place, being able to grow despite whatever's happening in the external environment. Your advice for them?
In sales, there are 4 challenges which MSME is facing today. The first challenge in sales is, jitna sales chahiye utna sales hai nahi. The second challenge in sales is credit. They want to sell, buyer needs more credit. Seller who is selling his product, buyer needs credit. That's the second challenge. The third challenge in sales is inventory mismanagement. I have got A to sell, but B has a requirement. I have to go B to sell, C has a requirement. The fourth challenge in sales is pricing. They're not getting their price they want to sell with. These 4 challenges can only be addressed with one solution: effort. Okay. MSME is not putting effort. If you need 10 clients, are you approaching 100 people? Are you approaching 500 people? Are you doing 1,000 calls in a month? A lot of people are today also in inbound sales. That's not right. It's high time you all should focus on outbound sales. Go and approach market, reach people, talk to them. Tell them, boss, we have this. Do you want this? There are 3 major reasons because of which sales doesn't happen in the company. One, and the biggest reason, is effort. You're not putting enough effort for sales. Second reason is people who are going for sales, your sales manager, your sales executive, they're not trained well. Our research says majority of the MSME salesmen, they don't have any knowledge on product training.
Okay.
They
just hired and then put out in the field.
They just hired and told ki jaake business leke aao. That's not something you can expect from a salesman. You need to give them a product training at least. Third challenge or third reason because of which sales doesn't happen is we say product failure. The product which you are offering has no meaning.
Okay. So you haven't done your market
competition
research.
has got better products from you, better pricing than you.
Okay. You were talking about credit, but I want to extend that to talk about funding. Most entrepreneurs who talk to us and entrepreneurs, the biggest challenge, of course, is where's the money coming from? What advice do you give your clients when it comes to raising money from banks? Let's primarily look at banks.
See, I'm not talking here about startups, but I would like to talk about SMEs, small and medium entrepreneurs. There are startups and SMEs also. But SMEs are not getting a right funding from bank or a support from bank, and the biggest reason behind that is they are not following compliance. Still a lot of cash business is happening, still a lot of business without compliance is happening, without taxation is happening. Today, after GST, after demonetization, people have understood the importance of compliance. They have started doing business with compliance, with taxation. A lot of my clients have converted themselves into 100% compliant company, and they are now actually experiencing the benefits of compliance. So my advice to all SMEs across the world, across the India is follow compliance. You will realize banks are supporting better than before.
Yeah, transparency of books is something that we hear very often.
Very, very often, and you can go and have more partners rather than bank. You can go to partners and have with you. The biggest challenge with MSMEs is they are not able to put their project into phases.
Onto?
Phases.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. You want to reach 20 crores. For this, you need 12 crore funding. Example. Or 8 crore funding or 6 crore funding. Put those 20 crore into 3 phases. First, start with a small thing, 5 crore rupees. For 5 crore rupees, you might need 1 crore rupee or 1.5 crore rupees. And you will be in a position to arrange that. If you are successful at 5 crore rupees, you can go to phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 5. So that's one suggestion. Now you will tell me that we need 6 crore rupees because of a factory setup. We need 8 crore rupees because of a machinery. I think MSME has to understand now, large corporate do outsourcing because of 3 reasons. The first reason of outsource is
it's cost effective.
They don't want to invest in capital. We say capex mein invest nahi karna. The second reason of outsourcing is they don't want to go for labor management. The third reason of outsourcing is whatever technology they'll have today, it has no meaning after 2 years. Technology is getting changed every 1 year, every 2 years, every 3 years, because of which they outsource. I think MSME can also think about outsourcing, and they'll more money. There are a lot of businesses across India. I can prove this on a piece of paper. They're doing business worth rupees 20 crores and they've invested 8 crores. My God, when we go and see, we say, what are you doing? You can't do business like this. There are people who want to buy their factory. There are people who want to buy their shop. There are people who want to have machineries. Everybody is super interested and super comfortable in investing money in capex.
Have an asset-light model is...
No, this is not a right way of doing business. You got to find other ways where the capex is less. People are not respecting working capital. Today, anybody who has disrespected working capital, today or tomorrow, they'll suffer. I keep on telling my clients that it's high time we should keep money in the account.
Let's wind this conversation down then, and I want to talk about some of your passions and hobbies. For any entrepreneurs, necessary that you have something that you're passionate about where you can take your mind off work. What is it for you?
For me, reading and driving makes me crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm absolutely
so
passionate.
So you splurge on your cars?
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm passionate about my cars.
Okay. Your advice perhaps to your clients about why it's important to have something that you're passionate about which has nothing to do with the business that you're running, and why it's important to cultivate these habits.
See, I keep on telling the world, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand one thing. You need to, you should not have limited life. You should think about unlimited life, because you're an entrepreneur. You don't have limited salary, or you don't have to work in the limited budgets. You're an entrepreneur. Earn more, spend more, live a luxury life, give a wonderful schooling to your kids, give all possible luxury to your wife, to your parents, and you should live a life like a king. That's what I keep on communicating with them.
All right, on that very optimistic note, Pravin, thank you so much for speaking with us here on ET Now.
Serving as a support system and comprehensive consultancy provider for small businesses, IILD is at the forefront of helping MSMEs achieve their goals.
That wraps up this episode. If you have any feedback for us, email us at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. Tweet at me at Sunand_J or LOT_ET now. You can also call us on that number you see on your screen, or leave your comments on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good night.